This is the largest salt mine.
Wow, guys. Wow, 50 likes that quickly. Thank you very much for that. So let's get back into it. Now, Your Eminence has been providing some quality salt, it has got to be said, and today we're going to go through his conversations with the Pirate Orc, the Snake himself, and why he doesn't like Pirate Orc and the Dark Marauders, and why he's going to destroy us, and yeah, apparently spanking us. You know, well, some of us might like that. So before we get into the video proper and the real salt, I'm going to cover the Dark Owl comments. So I said I'd translate this. So this is what the Blop commander sent to Dark Owl. He said, "You fucked up my game, dude. I had to go 340 light years to get those relics." Now, Dark Owl responded with, "We murder Blop," but he actually says "we cloak Blop" because there's an accent over the O for "we murder." And the guy replied with, "I'm a newbie, you should have asked." And Owl responded with, "I can't bother to translate this." So there we go. Quality bit of salt, but it was kind of deserved because, you know, the poor guy had to travel 340 light years to only die outside of a base. But on to the proper salt. So Pirate Orc's been arguing with Your Eminence. Now, Pirate Orc is a great one for looking for posts, and that was what initiated his first contact. Was he saw a looking for post and thought he'd reach out. And he was trying to find out information about the squadron, etc. This is what Pirate Orc does. He always looks to try and find people he can con, people he can, you know, discuss. And so Your Eminence invited him to his Discord and asked him, you know, about his squadron. So Pirate Orc said, "We're a PvP piracy faction." And he said, "Are you the leader?" And he said, "Yes." And apparently, you know, Your Eminence has three squadrons, and they're apparently good pirates. So he's Orc's very honest. We have 43 members and probably 6 active. Yeah, probably about right. And they were both Delane, Archon Delane factions. So Your Eminence immediately says that we should want to be allies with him, and he can offer like a lot of stuff, and you know. So Orc, you know, ignores a lot of the blather because it's pointless to us. We don't care about that sort of stuff. So he's literally like, "Well, what do we get?" And the fact that he told him we'd given up our BGS so we can just be free from it. It's an outmoded concept. We've got fleet carriers. We don't need a BGS anymore. So they discuss backwards and forwards, and he says that we should be their allies because we're both Archon Delane. And Orc's still like, "What's in it for me?" Because Pirate Orc is all about what's in it for him. And Your Eminence makes bold claims that he's going to smash the Feds, smash the Empire, and rule the galaxy. Which is odd because he's not even involved with the Archon Delane power play. From what I understand, he contacted the leaders of Archon Delane power play, told them they were trash and garbage, and then blocked them all. It's kind of a running theme, I feel. So anyway, after that conversation, Orc slivered off to probably find someone to con and rob and steal. So when my interaction and Scooby's interaction happened and Scooby and me ended up being blocked, Orc reached out again and asked why, you know, Your Eminence doesn't like him. And apparently he accused Orc of spitting in his face. Because Orc had the audacity to ask for money for our services. Yeah. And he was accusing us of killing his commanders, which, again, we robbed one of his commanders in a clip called "No Shots Fired." If the commander dies because they repeatedly ram a corvette, that's kind of their own fault. You know, especially with not a single shot being fired. So he gets very funny. Orc is like, you know, the claims of piracy, and Orc's like, "Have you ever robbed the player? None of your business." And Orc's like laughing at him. I mean, he is someone who basically, I don't think, has much experience of open, doesn't do PvP, doesn't do piracy, and just sits back and talks a lot of rubbish to a lot of people. He's contacted and reached out to a lot of groups. He's fallen out with the new pilots initiative or all loads of people, you know, and eventually it breaks down and he's making the threats that, you know, he's going to disband the squadron, and talks like, "How are you going to disband the squadron?" And yeah, and he offers him a 1v1, which Your Eminence of course turns down. And yeah, and then he talks about PvE leaderboards. It's like, what's the relevance? There's no relevance whatsoever to us than what we do in game. We don't care how many NPCs you can kill. It's not a big thing. I mean, we are the Dark Marauders, we are pirates, we rob anyone, including our allies. I put videos up of me robbing allies of the Dark Marauders. nobody minds because everyone knows it's just fun roleplay piracy. You know, it's not malicious. We're not starting wars all the time. But this guy wanted to start a war over one incident, so be it. After he blocked me and Scooby, Star and Polo led the charge and entered their Discord, and immediately started spamming memes, spamming him, trying to get his attention. Sadly, I haven't got all the screenshots because we were hurriedly trying to screenshot everything before we all got kicked. And we didn't capture all of the memes. So I'm missing the Ron Jeremy approved Dark Marauder smashing cunt since 3302. And the other one I think I'm missing, which is the pole dancer one, which was really funny. But my favourite out of the ones I did capture were the prawn ones. That was a brilliant one. And we certainly just kept spamming and spamming until we got their attention. Now, to be honest, considering their faction's bigger than IED, their Discord was incredibly dead. My favourite thing that I did is I went onto a section for Stop Asian Hate and asked if the reason he blocked me was because I was part Japanese. But generally we messed around on their Discord posting stuff, and eventually he appeared. And he had some mad conversations and basically swore at us and told us to go away, and that we were all going to get killed, that he was going to destroy our squadron. The usual stuff that this guy's been spouting. I did like the fact that he completely broke all his own rules about conduct and language in his forums, and we didn't. Star actually egged him on quite a lot. I was, to be honest, laughing so much at this point that I didn't actually type that much. But yeah, so him and Star had this back and forth. I recommend you pause any of this and actually have a read, because they're just really funny. He's threatening again and again and again, just constantly trying to threaten us. It's like, we have heard all this before. We get this all the time, and it's always some private group hero who thinks they're going to come into open and destroy us. And it's like, there are people in open who have been running around trying to destroy us for years. I mean, literally years they've been trying to destroy us for, and they haven't managed it. So what makes you think a little private group's going to do anything? I mean, you've supposedly got more members than IED, but on reflection it looks like you've got not many active members. It's pretty much a dead squadron without even having a BGS. So we can't even mess with your BGS. It's pretty much just a non-event, this, other than his really enjoyable assault. Now we're going to continue doing what we're doing, which is robbing and killing their commanders. We may go on Lyra hunts occasionally, but considering how rare they are in open, it's not really that fruitful. Polo was lucky enough to rob one at another CG recently. This clip has already been used, but I thought I'd reuse it. And I was lucky enough at the last CG, the first commander that dropped in at the star that I saw was a Lyra commander. And I'm going to leave you with the in-game voice so you can hear how excited Polo was and disappointed Polo was because he couldn't get in the instance. The other voice is Horizon of FedEx. Anyway, I'll leave it there and say that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this salt. It is so funny, and long may the salt continue to flow. 07 all, especially Your Eminence.
Kill him.
Kill him. Oddball, Diamondback Scout, there he is. Diamondback Scout. There it is! Oh, huh? Oh, hang on, he's just like low weight. Okay, alright, coming in. Oh, hang on, I'm not in your wing! I want in on this!
Yeah, he's taking it all for himself. Oh, no,
he's fucking glory hunter.
Yeah, selfish. I kill. Nobody else, just me.
No need. Oh.